it's not your first time at Graspop. What is coming back to Graspop? What does Graspop mean to you?
I mean, it was one of the first festivals we actually did in the 90s. So
right.
It brings back a lot of memories. Us and I was telling the other guys, like us and Children of Bottom was going. First, we played in Berlin on some festival, and then we packed everybody in like a Volkswagen van kind of thing, and they drove us all the way here.
Yeah.
After in the middle of the night, and then I remember we had a lot of good parties together.
Yeah.
So we had to gaffa the drummer Jaska to the fence.
Right.
Because he was out of control. So things like that,
Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about the 90s, if you could go back to 94, I think it was 94 when you built up your studio, and just a couple of years after you started with Pain and everything.
Yeah.
Would you do something different? If you can go back now to 94 or
no, because I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
This is you trying. Oh, what is this? Bass? Oh, treble. Oh, that was all you did. And you just trying to use your ears and try to get as good as possible. Today you have so much better tools, digital tools that can help you. But in the past it was just like learning by doing, and
Right.
you didn't want to jeopardize the bands that you recorded, because it was their budget, their money. So you didn't want to take super chances,
Right.
So that's what happened with Hypocrisy and Pain. I took all the chances there instead, to try things. So. Yeah.
Right, and I think this is the 8 or 9 album for Pain. I am.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a lot of albums. I think this project started actually when you try to do things differently and experiment a lot.
Yeah.
So being this your 8th album, there's still room for experiments?
Yeah. It's the 9th, but yeah. There's always. I mean, the new album is pretty much experiments on sounds and melodies and trying to sing different, and
right.
It's always it's a learning process your whole life,
no
matter what it is. So that makes it exciting to try different things that you don't normally do, or things that is not going on routine, because routine is boring.
Right.
So for me, it's if I want to be motivated, I need to try to make it exciting for myself and not, try to do the same album again and again and again.
Right.
But so I guess it's just a huge playground and developing.
Right.
As a songwriter, producer, and mixer or whatever.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And your son is also now part of Pain because he's collaborating with you.
Yeah,
he's creating songs with you.
Yeah.
Did he discover some things to you as well, like band-wise?
Yeah, I mean, he's from a younger generation,
Yeah.
He shows me things that he likes and things like that. Nowadays, I think I'm pretty okay what's going on, But, 10 years ago or so, I had no clue. I was just sticking to my stuff,
Right.
And he helps me out getting influenced by different kind of sounds, productions and things. So that's very good.
Right. And I read somewhere that he had a chance to audition for Sabaton, I think, when he was 14. And you didn't,
not really,
like
but kind of. He could have done it. For
yeah,
sure.
but you
we
didn't
said
want to because he
no.
was too young.
Yeah.
So if you can recommend him, like, not being part of this industry, would you recommend him not to be into music or into music industry? Would you prefer him to do something different? Or?
No, I don't think he wants to do anything different. So, I mean, he has to. I mean, he's turning 26 next week. Or
next
the week after that, actually.
Right.
So, I mean, he's old enough to do his own
right
things. But when he's not, before he's 18, then I and his mom was the boss, So after that, when he turned 18, that's when I brought him on the Coming Home tour.
Right.
Because, then he's of age. I can't do anything about it. I'd rather keep him with me, than he goes crazy somewhere else. So.
Right, yeah. So you've been part recently of very known collaborations with other famous musicians like Lindemann or Jolie Turner. But these are obvious choices because these guys are from the rock or metal genre, right?
Yeah.
If you can do something like that, but outside rock, outside metal, who would you choose?
That's a good question. I don't know. Something from more electronic, maybe?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Sometimes you don't choose yourself. It chooses for you, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to say. It's not you sit at home and plan. I'm gonna try to find this guy and try to, you know, grease him up. You know,
Right.
It doesn't really happen like that. Sometimes it just coincidences.
Right.
You know. So.
Yeah. And the show today was really fun with all the videos and all
Yeah.
the stops, the costumes and everything. Imagine that you have unlimited budget to do whatever you want, bring whatever you wish on stage, like, I don't know, a Viking ship, like Amun Amar or something like that. What would you do?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know
Like
yet.
giant robots or something like that on stage.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's not close enough for me to think about it yet.
Right.
You know, but if it would
But
be,
it works this way,
Huh?
and it's really fun. It works
yeah.
this way.
But I mean, I don't know. There is always things. You just keep your mind open. You know.
Right.
I mean, with Lindemann, we threw cakes and fish. So I mean, you know, whatever you can imagine, you just go crazy with.
Right.
So.
Okay, so when they talk about Coming Home, the album, they say it's a sleepy album. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
That was the plan.
No, it was more an experimental thing, I think, for me as a producer to try to write a little bit more like my old heroes and stuff like that. So now I know a little bit how to do it. So when I was listening to it before I started writing again, I was like, yeah, it's too sleepy. Let's do some more party music.
Right.
You know.
And then Party in My Head comes up.
Yeah, and Push the Pusher and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's always good to have this thing that you can, you know, what do you call it? Masturbate in the studio. You know, using your own things. But now I just want to make good songs and, yeah, good moods.
Right.
I think.
You know, Party in My Head, the song is from 2022, 21, I think.
Yeah, that's when I started to
But
write.
it's an instant banger, I know. It's a big part of the show now. You play like almost at the end and people go nuts.
Yeah.
When you created that song, you already had in mind this is going to be a big hit.
No, you never think about it like that. You just, I mean, the lyrics came very easy, I think, because it was that time with pandemic and we're all hated life, you know, so that came easy. With melodies and music, it's just coincidences sometimes, you know.
Right.
You don't plan them. You maybe have a melody in your head and you take it out on keyboard or guitar and you're like, oh, it wasn't what I had in mind, but that sounds good too, you know. And then you put layers of bass and whatever, you know, and then all of a sudden the structure becomes a little bit different, and then you go, oh, either it's good, or if it's bad, then you try something else, you know. So it's just really trying.
Right.
You know, sometimes you get a bullseye, sometimes you don't.
Right. You mentioned in other interviews that the music Payne was doing at the beginning affected also the music in Hypocrisy, and so on. Like the Hypocrisy music was affecting Payne. The final result. What has more weight? What do you think has more weight? The influence from Payne in Hypocrisy, or Hypocrisy on Payne?
I think, I mean, Hypocrisy, that's where it started, you know, where I could release songs and styles what I grew up with.
Right.
You know, in the mid-'80s. I mean, mid-'80s, there was a lot of, you know, synth bands and stuff. I hated that shit, you know? But now, you know, like a few years later, you absorb it. It's like, whoa, not bad. I mean, I'm not a fan of the early Depeche, but when it became like music for the masses and things like that, later, then it actually got really dark.
Right.
You know, even though it was synth, you know. So that's when you started getting into that as well. So my dad used to make keyboards when I was a kid in the 70s, like Moog machines and stuff like that. So
Right.
I was always around this Jean-Michel Jarre and things like that. So,
Right. Well, just to finish the interview,
Yeah, thank you.
where do you get the time to do all these things? You have Hypocrisy, Pain, all the bands you are producing.
Yeah, but I don't produce anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, hardly. It depends. If something good comes around, I will do it. But it's not really so much time for it, because I try to concentrate on Pain and Hypocrisy nowadays a little bit more. And when it was 3 bands, it was horrible because there was so much to do.
Is there any red lines you wouldn't cross music-wise? Like, I don't know, an acoustic country album from Pain or something like that?
No, there is no boundaries for me on that. With Hypocrisy, we want to stay in the format, because that's the only way to do it. I think it's like AC/DC start playing death metal.
Right?
That's not good.
Yeah.
So we will probably just try to make better songs and keep the sound.
Right.
And with Pain, it's an open book. You can do whatever. There's no limit.
Okay. Well, Peter, thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah,
okay, we really enjoyed the show today.
Yeah.